Well, coming up on Midday Kentucky today, spring means bold colours and trendy looks. One designer is here to make sure your closet is ready for the makeover. And it's Colon Cancer Awareness Month. Health officials want to make sure you're informed. All that and more on Midday Kentucky. Plus, you also have mastered the smoky eye. Lonnie Virgil, our fantastic makeup artist, is here to give us all the latest tips. Be sure to stick around, everyone. You're watching Midday Kentucky. Welcome back to Midday Kentucky, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this fantastic Wednesday. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
You're looking nice and bright.
Yes, very springy.
Ready for
Love
spring?
the dress,
Ready for spring.
Troy, we're glad you're back. We missed you yesterday.
I know, I had a few appointments I had to go to and tend to. Plus, I need to give a shout out to Janae from First Watch.
Oh, okay.
She watches the show. She said, "You're going to give me a shout out?" I said, "You bet I will, sister." So there I did. Thank you for watching. We love that you come up, all our viewers out there that are starting to get to know us and see us in the public eye, and come up and say, "Hey, we like it." You're feeling a little bit better?
I am. Every day I get a little bit better.
Yesterday I watched the show. I recorded. And you were a little under the weather yesterday, but you seem a little bit better today.
I do. I feel a lot better. My voice still sounds horrible.
Well, I like a husky voice.
Yeah, it's kind of sexy.
Sounds like you've been a singer and a smoker and drinking away.
Bad.
Oh, boy.
Like bad. Hey, I wanted to kick this off to begin with, and I don't know what you think about it, so keep an open mind
Okay.
to what I'm about to talk to you about. What do you all think when it comes to infants with heels on? Are we seeing more sexualization of children? This is the latest thing. A children's shoe company has been slammed by parents over its range of high heels for babies. Now, Pee Wee Pumps, based in Greensburg, Pennsylvania, creates soft slippers with pointed toes and collapsible heels for infants up to 6 months old, okay? Now, there is the conversation saying that it's over-sexualization of children yet again. These are just props, everyone. Now, do you think they're cute and funny?
I think it's cute and funny.
I think it's cute and funny.
I do.
It's young enough. It's not like we're putting 2, 3-year-olds walking in heels.
Exactly.
And I see a lot of different shoes or funny things that you just kind of dress a baby in because it's cute.
Right.
I think it's cute.
I
And they're
mean-
not real shoes. They're like slipper.
And you know, they have the tennis shoes for the boys, like all of the hot tennis shoes.
Oh,
you
do
know,
they?
like
Yeah,
like
they have
Michael
all
Jordans
those.
and all of this stuff, and they're always.
I'm going to a baby shower this weekend, and I've already picked up a bunch of really cute, like, sock shoes. Those are my favorite things
Okay.
to
Oh,
they're
buy.
so cute.
But they're not real shoes. If I saw those, I'd probably buy a pair for the shower, just because they're funny. They're not, but I don't like seeing, 5, 6, 7-year-old girls wearing heels. I think that's a different conversation. But these
Right.
seem cute and funny
Well,
on
these
me.
are $30, okay?
I wouldn't pay $30.
Oh, you wouldn't pay $30?
No.
Oh, they're just cute. Well, okay. But you'd be surprised what parents pay out there for these sorts
Seriously,
of things.
Yeah,
they'll pay
that's
it.
And, it's
I think
cray-cray,
they're cute.
but it's all for the picture. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
They're about $30, as I said. Now, there's been a lot of backlash on Facebook and Twitter as well. We're going to put some of those comments up now. After the glue comes the crib shoes. Beware of the photos are shocking. What? Pee Wee Pumps infant crib shoes are made with care and love. I'm not quite understanding where this is coming from. I think this is actually one of the positive comment as well. Look, it is all just fun. Marlene, she says, appalling, as bad as the Chinese of old binding their children's, I can't even read this,
yes,
who
okay.
allows these to be on sale. Oh, look, I don't think it's binding.
I don't think so
The
either.
Chinese actually have a, what do you call it? An old tradition where they bind the feet. I don't even think
small
that's
and
still
petite.
happening
Yeah.
either now. I think this is going a little bit too far.
I don't
It's not April yet, otherwise I would think this was an April Fool's joke. Unbelievable.
But I do think it's meant to be a joke. I think it's
I think it is
funny.
too. I think it is
Right?
too.
Like,
I think,
It-
well, I
it's-
don't
it's
think it's meant to
ha-ha,
be
tongue-in-cheek,
Well, I
like
don't
a
think they're
cute,
expecting
funny thing.
children to go out and wear these in the street. The
Yeah.
kids can't even walk.
Yeah.
But it's
Exactly.
all for the photos, and I think sometimes we get a little bit too carried away.
I think so too.
You know,
I think this is
and
all in good
it's
fun.
all fun.
Yeah, I think
it's
it's
all
fun.
fun.
It is.
Hey, something that you wanted to talk about is something on a bit of a sadder note when it comes to pets being flown around in aircrafts. What do you got for us?
Yeah, well, an Oregon woman was flying her dog, Jacob, across country. He was going from Detroit to Portland, and there was a layover in Chicago, and it was what was supposed to be a 1-hour layover ended up being 20 hours. And the dog went without food or water and subsequently died once he got to Oregon. And so she, of course, is calling out United Airlines about this, but it kind of made me wonder, have you had family pets that you've flown, and if so, what was your experience with that? I have not done that before.
I've never flown with a dog.
Well,
but I think this is tragic. Maybe there's more to the story, though. Like you had said in our pre-meeting, maybe the dog had a heart attack. I don't know. I mean, that's shocking if the dog went 20 hours without food or water. It's really sad. But I've never flown with a pet, so.
Well, and what she said also was that they have a mandatory vet check for the dog, like a physical, within 24 hours before flying. So the dog passed it, no problems whatsoever.
They have a vet check?
Yes.
Wow.
And so then, of course, this happened. But you know, in my opinion, I think flying stresses animals out completely.
Yeah, I agree.
And
did it say how old this?
It was 7 years old.
7
A
years
golden
old,
retriever, 7 years old.
And they live to be ripe old age, I
About
believe, don't they?
14.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look, I said in our pre-meeting, I had a show dog in Australia, and I flew him all over the country to compete in shows. But I think it was a medical issue, not the food and water, because I know dogs get lost in the bush, and you know, I think they've gone without more than 20 hours without food and water. Not that you want that to happen, but you look at all the Olympic teams, you look at all the international travellers that have horses, and you have cattle and all sorts of animals that get flown all over the world. You don't hear of this, so I really do think it could be an issue from the dog, not lack of food or water, which I think could be the case.
Yeah. I want to ask you guys about something else. That is a horrific, just tragic story, something kind of along the same lines. How do you feel about therapy dogs flying? Now, I 100% think anyone's legitimate therapy dog should fly, should be on there.
Yes.
I have friends from when I was in Indiana that got what I think of as a fraudulent certificate to call their dog a therapy dog.
Just
so that they could fly for free with their animal, because there's like a $200 fee. And this is what my friend did.
You mean the animal flies
She went
for free?
online, the animal flies for free, but usually it's like a $200 fee for the on-board flight. She called a place out in Colorado that she found online. You basically talk to them for 30 minutes.
That's right.
Pay a fee, and then now her dog's
So
a
what
therapy
did she-
dog.
so-
And I think people doing that, it takes away from the people who legitimately need
Need
the
it.
dog as
Exactly.
therapy. You know, my friend just didn't want to pay the fee. Now she flies all the time, and she has this little certificate, and all she had to do was basically just pay someone to say it was a therapy dog.
What did she say she
I was
needed it
kind of
for? What was her
outraged. She said
disability?
Well, she's
anxiety of
Katie's
flying.
friend.
Yeah. She said anxiety of flying, but I was kind of outraged by that, because what about the people who really
Do need it.
that? I don't know. I
I-
was upset by that.
I worked with someone who also did that, and it sort of annoyed me a little bit too.
Right? I don't know.
And not because I care about, you know, that she wanted it as a therapy dog, but to use the excuse.
Yeah, I don't
that
like using the
I don't-
excuse.
Man up.
Yeah.
And you don't have to. If you love your dog, I get it, and you
Yeah.
want your dog to be with you at all times. But if you're that cheap, don't get on a plane.
Yeah.
what I
and
mean?
I didn't like it because
Use it for people who need the service.
Right.
yeah, because typically in-cabin pets, it's limited to 2. So I will usually maybe see 1, but let's say you brought
per
your
plane?
per plane. So what if someone that's blind or someone who really needs their therapy dog wants
And
to
see,
bring
that's
it,
true.
but you've already taken up one of those spots? I don't
Exactly.
know, but I was kind of shocked that you could just be on the phone for 30
Nothing
minutes
shocks
and
me
get
anymore,
the
my friend.
certificate. I don't know.
Nothing. I'm sure. You know, there's many things you can get over the phone.
Okay.
You know, like
Scary.
who knows?
Very scary.
You know? I wanted to talk to you. You always laugh at me. Everyone laughs at me.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yes, we
at
do.
home. Well, mainly the crew.
About
yeah.
anything, but yeah.
But most mornings, probably 5 out of 7 days, I wake up at about 5:45 and have a 15-minute hot bath in the morning. I love that way of waking up. It's just what I do, and you have now finally
Justified
found
it.
something
We have
to
figured out
justify
why
me
you
to
have
do
these
it.
washboard abs and perfect male physique. It is because having a nice bath could be similar to having a workout. An
See?
hour-long bath could have the same effects as working out for an hour. So here's the deal with this study. They studied people underweight and overweight and had half the group do an hour exercise, half the group an hour bath. And what it comes down to is they're saying your blood sugar levels perform better, are lower in the 24 hours after your exercise. It's one of the benefits to exercising, and that was happening to the people with longer baths.
So what you're saying is still have the bath, Troy, but stop eating whilst I'm in the bath?
Yeah.
So stop having snacks, get rid of the wine, turn the TV off.
Well, let's not get carried away. We're not getting rid of the wine. No.
Keep the wine.
Do you like to have baths?
I do. I rarely get them though with kids.
Well, see, that's the point. My point is I have the luxury of not having children. I live alone. I enjoy that 15 minutes.
I bet. I would too.
I know.
I'm jealous,
I have a
actually.
friend that often rings me. She says, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm in the bath." She went, "Are you kidding me?" Like, Troy. Anyway,
and then of course it's really good for reducing inflammation in your body, but there's a lot more research happening now in terms of your blood sugar levels and the proteins being released in your body. So of course then the researchers say this is not an excuse to get out of exercising, but adding it into your regimen, or people who cannot exercise for whatever reason, as you know, you get older, taking a bath that day might be nice.
What about a hot shower? Did they?
Well, you got to be in it for an hour.
Yeah.
That's too much water being used. Too much water being used.
Yes, I don't want to do
Hey, something we're going to touch on this slightly because it's a big conversation that people want to have online. Head over to Midday, Kentucky. Tell us what you think about it. Childhood obesity is a real problem in the US today, right? Well, what do you think about this and who to blame? Parents whose children are obese, I should say, have revealed the reasons why their sons and daughters are overweight in a candid online discussion. Now, their confessions were prompted by a Mumsnet user who asked parents for their stories to help her with an educational theatre production she's creating about healthy eating and weight issues. While a handful admitted that they struggle with identifying healthy choices for their children, many of the accounts were much more complex. Several said that they were aware their children eat way too much junk food, but don't know what to ban it outright for fear of giving them a complex around food. That's just one of the examples to begin with. What are your thoughts on this?
Well,
does the buck stop with the parents? Now, we also know, I want to say this, that there are issues about glands and medical reasons why some people are overweight, and I just want to put that out there.
Exactly.
Okay.
And, you know, if it's a medical situation, you know, that's...
Thyroid, overactive thyroid and things like that.
But I do believe that it starts with the parents.
Well, you're a parent.
Yes, it starts with me. I'm responsible for what my child's eating habits are, and he or she, they're going to mimic your eating habits. So you have to be very careful yourself of what your choices are, or at least be aware of it. Yeah. Everybody eats junk food. Everybody eats, you know, ice cream and cookies and things like that. But when it becomes too much, that's where you have to really, you know, as a parent, you have to just watch your child, make sure they're not snacking all the time. My kids are constantly grabbing in drawers where I keep the junk food, and I'm on them immediately when I see them doing it.
Right.
Because I don't want them snacking too much in between the meals.
What do you think?
I don't know. I know that you think this is sort of an excuse, as we talked about in the pre-meeting, but I do think that it's, yes, the kids are eating what the parents feed them, but I do think that a big issue is the cost of healthy food. And even if that's just the perceived cost of healthy food, that could be people that don't know how to shop budget friendly for those healthy foods. And how many stories do we do about food deserts in our area where people are not in a location where they can get those fresh fruits, fresh vegetables? And I think we need changes in regulation to make these foods cheaper, or even teaching people how to eat healthy cheaper. Because we were saying, well, you can even go to Wendy's, and I went yesterday, and I thought, oh, this is just a great healthy salad. It had grilled chicken, strawberries, blueberries, everything, and then I just got no salad dressing. So it seemed like a healthy option for fast food, but it's $8, where you could get the $1 Big Mac. But maybe if you then, of course, so you may think that's so much more expensive, but maybe more education on how to go to the grocery store and still only spend $5, but make a really healthy meal out of it.
Right.
I think price falls into that a lot, even if it's just perceived. People don't know.
Right. And you know what, also, portion control is really the key, too. So if you're in a situation...
no one's saying don't eat the Big Mac.
Exactly.
Because we all love a Big Mac. Don't
Exactly.
get me wrong. I'm the first one in line in the bath. That's why I don't have the abs. But
do you really need
cut
the
it in
combo?
half.
Do you
Yeah.
need the combo
Yeah.
meal? Do you need
But
the
it's so
fries with
easy
it?
and
Do you need all that?
convenient, you know, for these cheap foods. I
Okay,
don't know.
you two, stop the arguing. We've got to go to break. Well, coming up after the break, Kentucky One Health shows us the importance of colon cancer awareness. Keep it right here, everyone. We're watching Midday Kentucky, and they weren't arguing. I was just playing.